Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retric Union Collectors channel today, and today we're taking a look at the Shattered Glass Decepticon Slicer and Exo-Suit. So, like always, we'll take a look at the box first. So getting these two out of here. So this is just like all the other Shattered Glass boxes. It's got that really nice two-tone kind of black and then pink and purple kind of color to it. Really like these Shattered Glass boxes. And there you get some art of Slicer, as well as right there. Very cool looking character, very cool design. This character, I'm actually still kind of confused here if he's supposed to be Slicer or Shattered Glass Wheeljack, but he kind of, in my mind, he's kind of Shattered Glass Wheeljack, but I know Slicer is a different character who is a Decepticon, and I'll show you more about that later, but very cool. It also includes Exo-Suit here. And he's one of the Weaponizer dudes. I don't have any of them, so this is one of my first. This is actually my second one I ever have gotten. So I don't know a whole lot about those guys, but pretty cool. They like split into pieces, all that fun stuff. But that's about it for the box. Get that out of here. And bringing them both back into frame here. So here we have Decepticon Slicer and Exo-Suit, and these two characters look very, very cool, and I kind of count this guy more as just a massive accessory for this guy, so I'm not going to split this into two videos. This is going to be both reviews in one, since this is a repaint, and this is pretty much a repaint. It's new to me, but it is a repaint. But taking a look first here at Slicer, we can get Exo-Suit out of here. But Slicer is obviously a repaint of the Earthrise Wheeljack. Looking very nice. Very, very nice matte black and blue color scheme to it in here. And in case you can't tell with my channel colors and my gaming channel colors, the Retric Union, black and blue is my favorite color scheme of all time. So this thing is awesome, in my opinion, just paint-wise. But very, very cool. Definitely a fan of how this guy looks. These colors are super nice. And you see he's got some red down here with some like bronze on his face, and down here some more red. Very nice looking. This is one of the cooler looking figures I have in my collection right now. I can definitely say that. Looks very nice. But as I was saying earlier, so I'm kind of confused about if this is Wheeljack or Slicer, because even if you look at his Decepticon insignia here, if you look at the Shattered Autobot insignia, which I have Shattered Blaster right here, if you see it's very purple instead of red. And then if you take a look at a Shattered Decepticon insignia, like this one right here, video on this guy coming soon, stay tuned for that, but the Shattered Decepticons are very red. This thing is very pink. It is very much so a mix of the two colors. Well, not a mix of the two, but it's very pink. So I don't know what the deal is with him. I have not read the comic books yet. I have all of them, but still kind of confused about that. But that being said, we can now take a look at Exo-Suit's robot mode here. Get him back. And as you can see, he is very red and pink, with some black and like some nice gunmetal thrown in there, some grays. But very, very cool looking. And like I said, this is one of the Weaponizers, which I don't have much experience with at all. But they like split apart and they can become pretty much armor for the other dude, and I mean, it's kind of cool. I tend to just keep him in his robot mode though. I kind of like how he looks. Don't really see too many characters with 6 axles like that on their legs. But pretty cool. As for robot mode, very red and pink, more unique of a color scheme. Don't see that too often. That's about it for his robot mode. We can now do articulation. And so Slicer's articulation here is his head is on a ball joint, and mine is very stiff. But you can get a full 360 even with his shoulder gun on there, which we'll talk about in accessories. But there is a problem here where this little hinge can get loose and can fall down. This one stayed tight, but my Wheeljack has a problem where it keeps falling. But he's got his arm hinge down in here, which means unfortunately he cannot pull a full 360 on the arm. It is stopped right here by his shoulder, and then it is stopped right here by the shoulder as well, unfortunately. But it can swing out this far, and it does have a double hinge to allow for more dynamic posing, which is nice. There is a about straight 90-degree elbow, and then there is bicep rotation, as well as wrist articulation used in transformation. And then there is full 360 at the waist, as well as kick out that far, kick back that far, and can kick out to the side about that far. There is thigh rotation, as well as about a 90-degree knee joint, and some really nice ankle rocker joints here with some like double hinged feet that are actually pretty nice for like, I've heard this is pretty nice for doing like stop motion to kind of get like some more dynamic stepping movements and stuff. So pretty nice, pretty well articulated, I would say, for this guy. And then articulation on this guy. So his head is on just a swivel joint, so it can only spin around, no up or down. And then his arms can pull full 360, pretty unimpeded there, as well as this hinge here, which is nice. You can kind of go out to there and then straight down. There is a tiny bit below 90 degrees on the elbow with bicep swivel, as well as he does have hands down here. But he does have wrist articulation as well with the little guns on or not. So pretty nice there. Full 360 at the waist. Fully unimpeded thigh rotation. Full straight kick out. Pretty far kick forward. Pretty far kick back until you start hitting stuff, and you can take this off and get it even further. And he has maximum knee joint all the way. And then some really nice and pretty stiff ankle rocker joints here, which honestly I like because that'll hold where you put it. And then you kind of get some toe wiggle if you can use that. But that is about it for him. We can now go to accessories. And I kind of count this guy here as an accessory in this pack. But we've kind of already went over him, so we will put him aside for the moment. And he does come with these two big red cannons here. And these look pretty sweet. There's a pin in the middle here, and you can fold this down if you so desire. Peg that back up. Put it in his hand here. This gun is pretty massive for him. It touches the ground. Then you get this one here, which is like a little double barrel type thing that also folds. And he can hold that right there. Right there, very tightly. And he can hold that just fine until he tips. But pretty cool looking. Just two translucent red guns. Pretty sweet. Both fold. But moving on from those, he does have Wheeljack's classic shoulder cannon thing here, which this time the tip has been painted red. Very cool. That just pegs on with this little pin right here up in the top. That post is also, or that slot is also used in transformation, which is pretty cool. But then we can move on to this guy. So he does have both of his little guns here can come off, and you can, I don't think they would fit on Slicer's hands actually, but you can give this to other characters whose hands would fit. but I kind of just prefer the look like that. But this guy in itself is kind of an accessory because it's a weaponizer, and I'm not going to get too deep into this just because I don't really know a whole lot about these and I don't really mess with the weaponizers. But he can actually split into like multiple pieces here, and you can use these multiple pieces to armor up other characters like however you choose, which is, I mean, it's a fun gimmick. I don't really do anything with it, but as you see, you just get like this whole pile of pieces that you can now do with whatever you please, which is pretty sweet. I do kind of like that. But like I said, this is only the second one I've ever owned, so I don't really have too much experience with these things. I mean, I've seen some people come up with some creative stuff with these, and to those people I applaud. Keep it up. You are much more creative than I am when it comes to these. But that's about it for accessories. But we can get this guy out of here. Oh, actually, no, we can keep him right here, and we can get some quick comparisons. So here we have the Shattered Glass Slicer and Exo-Suit. And here we have my Kingdom repack of Wheeljack. And we'll actually get him out of here for a moment. So as you can see here, that is Wheeljack and Slicer. Very, very nice. I definitely like this repaint. Not saying anything bad about how Wheeljack looks, but just, man, these colors, that black and blue gets me every time. But this thing is sweet. It's got like sponsors all over it, and very, very nice. Very cool figures here. Super glad to have both of these in the collection. But we can get him out of here, and we can do a bit of a size comparison here. So these guys are relatively the same size. But here we have Shattered Glass Blaster, who's a Voyager. And here we have, this is Earthrise, drawn a blank if it's Runabout or Run Amok. Can't remember which one's which. But pretty cool. Pretty decent size for a deluxe. Both of them. But getting these guys out of here, we can go ahead now and get these guys both transformed into their cool alt modes. If you want to see the transformation guide, it'll be linked in the description as well as right up here. Click that, check that out, and we can get this video finished. Alright, and here we are in Slicer and Exo-Suit's cool little vehicle modes. So first we'll take a look at Slicer, and wow, this thing, that black and blue is incredibly sharp. I am definitely a fan of how this looks. This looks very nice. Get some of that nice red accent going in there, some stripes down the front. Just wow. This black and blue definitely has me sold. Throw some gray in there. Ooh. Definitely a very nice looking vehicle. Even from the bottom doesn't look that bad. But very sweet, very sweet. Now let's take a look at Exo-Suit here. So I believe this is how his vehicle mode is supposed to be. And if I remember correctly, this is a repaint of, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was the dude who originally came with Scorponok back in G1. So this is just kind of like a little roller dude accessory to a Titan. But pretty cool. And it's kind of interesting how this thing can't transform. You have to split it into pieces to transform it into any of its modes. But, I mean, that is its gimmick, so understandable. And then a lot of the pink kind of hides up in this mode. You definitely get more of the red and the black and the silver. But still pretty cool looking. We can go ahead and get some size comparisons with these guys, though. Go ahead and angle the camera down a little bit. And we can go ahead and grab Wheeljack once again. So here we have Slicer, and here we have Wheeljack. Looking absolutely sweet next to each other. And once again, I don't know if this is Shattered Glass Wheeljack or if it's just Slicer for some reason in Shattered Glass or what the deal is, but need to read the comics. But super, super sweet looking. Very, very, very impressed with the paint job on this. And then, to give a comparison with this guy, remember how I said I have one other weaponizer? Here's Red Cog, Legacy Red Cog. And, I mean, they kind of weigh relatively the same. It's just really distributed different. He's got those big guns on top, too. But, same kind of paint job. But very cool looking. But we can go ahead and get all these out of the way, and we can get these guys transformed back into their vehicle, or back into their robot modes, excuse me, and finish this video up. Once again, transformation guide will be down in the description as well as right up here. And that is it. So all in all, all in all, I definitely think that these two figures have some awesome paint jobs. I can definitely say that. This Exo-Suit guy is very unique with that pink and red. And then this guy, oh, just the black and the blue gets me every time. So he wins. But all in all, awesome figures, awesome repaints. Definitely cool repaint of Wheeljack. I can't say too much about him because he's my first of this mold. But definitely cool repaint of Wheeljack. If you are into Shattered Glass, and if you are looking for more weaponizers in different colors or anything of that sort, I would definitely recommend this 2-pack. It's definitely an awesome one. I would pick it up if I was you. That being said, let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all that fun stuff, and have a good night.